Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones. Yes, people, how are we all doing? Welcome one, welcome all to the Liverpool versus Aston Villa preview. Massive game today for us, people. Massive game today. A lot on the line. We could go into the international break with 10 points from a possible 12, which would be a very solid start to this season, especially with all the uncertainty around the midfield and everything. It'll be a really good way to start off this season. Obviously, Aston Villa are a tough team. I like a lot of what Unai Emery has done with that side. If you know me, you know that I'm a big fan of the signings that they've made. I think Moussa Diaby is a really good pickup, and I think he's someone that we should be looking at as a Salah replacement. But you can get at this. You can get at this Aston Villa team. 100% you can get at this Aston Villa team. The way they play a high line despite not really having the plays for it, I think is something that we could exploit today. And if you've seen the team news already, you know that I think we went for the right lineup. I think we went for the right front line to attack today. But if you're new here and you're not already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turning on the notification bell so you don't miss any more content. And let's just get straight into this. First off, big up yourself, Kava. Big up yourself, Toka. Big up yourself, Adin. Big up yourself, Yuvraj. Don't like the way we're using Maka. I'll discuss this because I think there could be something else brewing there. There's an international break already. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for international breaks anyway. Big up Panaskaus, who's the starting DM, Castro Jones. Again, I'll touch on this in a minute. This game is perfect for Núñez. They play a high line and he fires versus high lines. Hard games today. 3-2 Liverpool win I'm going for. Fingers crossed. I think we win 4-2, hopefully. Big ups Anfield lad. Please stop saying replace Sally. Don't replace Sally. Replace the system and get a differently styled right winger. I hear that, Mike, but you've got to know your manager. Your manager is not changing an entire system when he loses Mo Salah. He's going to buy a player who he thinks can do a similar role that Mo Salah done. I agree with you. You don't replace Mo Salah. There's not one player on the market who can replace what he does. You should really be trying to replace him in aggregate. So you get a system change, you buy a DM, you buy a centre-back, you maybe buy 2 attackers, and then that is how you replace Salah in aggregate. But we're not going to do that because you've got to know your manager, know your owners, and they won't do that. 4-1 for me is the lineup out. The lineup is, it's not 100% out, but it's the TAT have done that leaked lineup thing. So I'll pull that one up for us real quick. Where is it? I'm seeing way too much Gravenberch stuff for a player who isn't playing today. There. Bingo. So, let's get this presented. Thank you. So, the lineup is Alisson Becker in goal, Trent at right back, Masip, Gomez, Robertson, Maka, Jones, Szoboszlai, Salah, Núñez, Diaz. Now, real quick, let me just pull up my tactical board. Just so I can show you how I think we're lining up today. Here we go. Let me just change some of the numbers real quick. Him there. There. Right, so let me pull up my little tactical board now. This is how I believe we're going to set up today. I believe we're going to see the pivot. Let me change this to 17. There you go. I believe we're going to see the pivot. I believe you're going to see Jones and Maka together in the pivot with Szoboszlai in the more advanced role, Diaz off the left, Salah off the right, Núñez up top. If we're going to play a 4-3-3, which is a possibility, but if we're going to play a 4-3-3, then I would expect to see something more along the lines of this. Whenever these three played together in pre-season, Jones was always the deepest sitter. And I believe we could see that again today. I really do believe we could see that again today if he's wanting to play with a single pivot. Realistically, I think long term the plan is for McAllister to sit in and then have Gravenberch on the left and Sobo on the right. But for today, I see us doing something more so along the lines of this, with a 4-2-3-1 being employed. And then what will almost happen is one will join the attack. So let's say, let's go to football. Pass him round, we'll get into shape, it goes there. So Diaz ends up with the ball. You'll see Jones step up, him go there, Maka move over, Trent tuck in, out wide, in the middle, on the left. We will still end up in the same shape, I reckon, because this is clearly what the club want to do this season in terms of shape. But you'll see us starting off on a 4-2-3-1. And then when we lose the ball, everyone shuffles over, Trent shuffles back, Maka sits in the middle while Jones gets back. When Jones gets back, he moves over, Szoboszlai tucks in, and then the wingers step back. For me, a 4-2-3-1 is probably the way to go today. I'll be honest, though, it is a bit of a shock that Endo isn't starting. I really did see Endo starting. But clearly something's changed. Clearly something has happened, and, he wants to go for a slightly more attacking lineup, which I'm not against. Big up yourself. Thanks for the happy birthday wishes. Where's Jones playing? I think it'll be a double pivot. 4-2 Massive concedes a penalty, gets subs off, injured in the 63rd minute. Wouldn't shock me. Endo really is bang average. Klopp starting with Carson in the 6th instead of him, says everything IMO. Did anyone expect us to have a world beater in Endo, though? My genuine question. Genuine hand-on-heart question. Did anyone expect Endo to be this absolute world beater of a DM? You've signed him for 20 million from Stuttgart. There's a reason he's 20 million. There's a reason he's from Stuttgart. I have had the expectation against Endo that he's just the Milner replacement. I'm not judging him against what Fabinho used to do. I'm not judging him against what like Mascherano used to do. He's a Milner replacement. He's a 30-year-old who's brought in to be a utility midfielder. That's what he is. He's not a starter, and I don't feel comfortable judging him against a starter type thing. I'll take the piss out of Caicedo with him, of course I will. But realistically, I know Endo is not a starter in this team. I believe that the long-term plan is a midfield three of McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai. But Jones can take the Gravenberch spot if he plays well. That's what I believe the plan is. Why is Maka a 6? Why do we play him there? It doesn't work. He doesn't work alone 6, no, but in a double pivot, he might do, because that was what he used to play. Is Emi Martinez out for today's game? Well, we'll find out in 2 minutes. I hope he is, because he's a pain in the backside. Emi Martinez. No, I think he's starting. I think Martinez is starting. That's annoying, because he's a good keeper. Will Gravenberch be on the bench? No, we won't. He wasn't registered in time, so there is no Ryan Gravenberch today. I hate Núñez in a 4-3-3. It has to be a 4-2-3-1. Mac is such a waste at 6. Plot makes absolutely no sense. I'm losing my faith in his competence. Mac makes sense at the 6. It's just there's a lot of development that has to be done. It ultimately comes down to we have played the last how many years with a certain type of 6. We have done. And now we're moving to a different type of 6. It's going to take some adjustments, but I believe it can work. I do believe it can work. Big up yourself, Mr. Tipso. Big up yourself, NZ. Can't you see how much of a waste that is, Tom? Why would you buy McAllister? It's not using his natural position. It makes no sense. I mean, we bought Wijnaldum. He didn't play his natural position. Mane didn't play his natural position for the majority of his time here. Trent still isn't playing his natural position. Fabinho wasn't really a lone 6 when we bought him. We buy a lot of players who we play in different positions. It happens. I mean, Szoboszlai, he weren't a right centre mid. He was a right winger. Like it happens sometimes. You don't buy players based off where they play. You buy players based off the skills they have, and then you can try and mould them. And we have a good track record of moulding these players. I mean, Bobby Firmino wasn't really a striker when we bought him. These sort of things happen. Big up Steve, by the way, and smash the likes, people. By the way, smash the likes. We've got 42 people in here. Let's try and get 42 likes. Big up Stephen Truth Seeker. The centre back pairing scares the crap out of me. Hope they step up and it's not Joe Gomez's off day. If one of them steps up, we should be all right. It's if both of them sort of. It's like if one of them is dumb and the other one becomes dumber. You need like yin and yang. You need one to be the opposite. Endo is a stopgap. Endo is just a utility piece. That's all Endo is. That is all he is. Now then, tell him, happy birthday. Where in Liverpool are you from? I'm from Scotty Road. Scotty Road. I'm from Garston, Mary. I'm from Garston. Banks Road. Some people are hyping him up as Busquets. With Endo, you're going to get that. You're going to get the overreaction. You have to judge him by your standards. And for me, I've always seen him as the Milner replacement. Klopp always spoke about him as a Milner replacement. That's what I'm judging him against. Important to get the win for the international break coming and get near the top of the league. I agree. Endo was a stopgap, in my opinion, for when we get our main DM target. Who was that? If Endo is the Milner replacement, where's our 6? It's McAllister. Andre could come in Jan as well. Tom and take that 6 spot, hopefully. Endo for 20 mil is a robbery. There was Amrabat for 18. We didn't even think about Amrabat wasn't 18. Amrabat has literally went for 32. Amrabat is literally went for 32 or 35 or whatever it is. So he's not 18 mil. Andre coming in January, fingers crossed. The Endo signing was a waste of money. That 20 million could have gone on a Kone signing. Again, though, it comes down to the role. I don't think Manu Kone would have been happy in a James Milner type role, which is appearances off the bench, 5-10 minutes. Manu Kone would have wanted more game time. I think it was between Kone and Gravenberch, and we went for Gravenberch because we've had longer scouting on him and there's more potential there, whatever the reasons are. But Kone wasn't a Endo type player. Andre's coming in, Johnny's our main DM target. Thoughts on Europa League draw? Liverpool will win group. Good thing. There's no long away days because we've easily been to Azerbaijan or Israel. I mean, it's a Europa League draw, isn't it? It's just a bit naff. Decent draw. Should be able to see a bunch of the kids play. Gravenberch, he's not even on the bench. And when he'll get sent off again, Tom Macker in the sit. But his red card wasn't a red card, though. So why are you worried about that? He didn't do anything that should have been a red card challenge, so I'm not worried about it because it wasn't a red card. If Liverpool win, I see it being close. Don't think it'll be a big battering. Villa starts a good game. Liverpool should win. It can be a battering if we just play over the top. If we play to Villa's weaknesses, we can hurt them massively. But whether we do that is a different kettle of fish. I believe Klopp is just experimenting at this point. He's just to find the perfect lineup as well as the perfect tactics. I believe it'll happen throughout the season. I believe he's got to do it quickly, though. If he is experimenting, he's got to find the solution quickly. We can't be going into October, November with not knowing our best 11 almost sort of thing. That's a dangerous game. And fucking Villa are playing a 5-3-2. Oh, it's not even a 5-3-2. It's a 5-4-1. It's a 5-4-1 because McGinn plays on the left. He's going to have the Yarby. Fair point. So I'm just very anti-Klopp until I see his man this work because it hasn't worked in 3 years. Fair enough. Well, I don't blame. I mean, I was one of the ones who Klopp out last season. I can't knock anyone for the Jurgen Klopp opinion. I just think that I've seen positives throughout pre-season and throughout the start of the season that I can cling on to for a little bit. Why is Jones starting over Endo? Because Jones is boss, lad. Jones is class. And I don't want any Curtis Jones disrespect. What are the chances we actually play 90 minutes of good football this week? We haven't played 90 minutes of good football in a couple of years. But it's about playing 30 to 45 of good football and holding out for the rest. My prediction 2-0 on a Salah double. That'll be boss after all the news. I love you too, MJ. I hope you're okay and having a blessed day. I'm having a great day, pal. I'm having a great day. Our team is evolving to play 4-2-3-1. It's all over. It's all starting to fall into place. Andre and Jam will help that, and Núñez will become the main man. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Oh yeah, just check my bad indeed. 35 mil, 10 mil loan for you, 25 buy option. Yeah, look, Amrabat was almost double the price of Endo, which is why I'm not bothered. I know that's incorrect. Andre's not even a DM for our system. He plays better in a double pivot. But in the same breath, we play a double pivot. Trent moves into a pivot. This is the thing with our system. We will, especially today, if we're going with this 4-2-3-1, you'll almost see a sort of, there'll be a constant pivot. So you'll start off with this, and then one will move forwards. If anything, it could probably be Maka moving forwards, and then Trent just tucks in. And then you end up with something like that. You're always going to have a pivot today, because I think that's the way we want to set up now. So, and then when you're back, it just forms back into a pivot there. He goes forward, Trent tucks in. I think the basis of this system now is to have that pivot to build off of. And he will stay there until he is back. Do you want the big point, though? I think this system only really works exceptionally well when this man plays. When Diogo Jota's on that left-hand side and he's getting back, Diogo Jota's defensive work is criminally underrated. He's so good at getting back. And Diaz doesn't do that as well. And that is where we're getting caught out at the minute, this left-hand side. When he plays, he is often back there when defending, which allows him to come over, which allows you to form a triangle, which stops real attacks breaking through, which is why I'm very big on Diogo Jota getting a lot more minutes on the left-hand side, because his defensive output is so good. It's so good. Why are people saying Salah can still leave? Our transfer window is closed? Technically, he can still leave because the Saudi window isn't closed, but we're not going to sell him. Typical Emery trying to stifle us. It's how these teams play. It's fair enough. When you're a good team, they're going to try and stop you. Jones is a good squad player. I've said this a lot. If Curtis Jones's height of his career is fourth choice at Liverpool, that should still be a really good career, because Liverpool Football Club should always have 3 world-class midfielders. If he's the 4th option, then that is fine. That is fine. Is Ryan Gravenberch registered to feature for this game? No, he isn't. No, he is not. We also haven't lost in the last 14 games. Yeah, it's a mad run that we're on. It doesn't feel like it, though. That's the thing. It doesn't feel like a 14-game unbeaten run. But we're doing really well, and I can't really knock it, sort of thing. So, fair enough. I know this game's not on TV. Other gamers would have preferred if it was. Do you watch the game on the internet links or check the score? I basically chuck a VPN on and use the American services. Hi Tom, just joining in. What do you think about today's lineup? I like it. I think it's a good lineup. I like Curtis Jones starting. I think Núñez starting is the correct call. I think it's the best lineup we currently got in the circumstances. Big ups my guy Pablo. I fully agree about Jota. I always thought we were losing out on Manny's defensive work. Made our left-hand side incomplete ever since. That's why I think when we go to the likes of the Etihad, the Emirates, Old Trafford, Jota has to play, because his defensive work is so underrated. It helps us out so much. It gives us much more balance. It makes us much more solid. Even against Newcastle, when he came on and we had Szoboszlai and Elliott in the midfield as a pivot, that could have went horribly wrong. But having Jota's defensive work ensured that it didn't. Salah does it as well. This isn't me forgetting Salah. Salah does it really well as well. But we don't have anyone else on the left who really does that. Núñez does it at points. We haven't seen Gakpo on the left. And Diaz doesn't really do it. Jota is the one who does it. And I think that's why Diogo Jota should be the nailed on start of these big games. Why can't we play players at their natural positions? Fair enough for Curtis starts, but why limit McAllister plays a sole 6 makes no sense. Rather have Endo as a sole 6 or play double pivot. I mean, McAllister played the majority of last season in a double pivot. Look, you buy these players, you buy players for the attributes, you don't buy players for the positions. We clearly bought McAllister and have an idea that we can mould him into a 6 of some sort, which you gotta see how it plays out. If it's not working, Klopp will pull the plug on it. That's the thing. Klopp will pull the plug on it. Villa could be a surprise this season. They could be. They're a solid side with a top manager. I'm not very confident today. I feel like we could lose today. Anfield, lad. We should be all right at Anfield. Tom, if a world record fee of at least 200 million for Salah came in, would you sell him? I personally wouldn't, but it would have made me think a lot. If you get the chance to make a 31-year-old Mohamed Salah the most expensive player in world football, you take it. I love Salah. I love him, but you cannot miss out on 200 million pounds. You can't. At the end of the day, Liverpool Football Club has always been better off when we've played. Not when we played, when we sold these bigger players and reinvested it in multiple positions. Like I said, you replace Salah in aggregate, you buy 3 or 4 players to replace him. The 200 million will go a long way to doing that. That's the thing. And the only doubt in my mind at this point is you can't replace him for the first 6 months. But maybe that'd be a chance for someone else to step up and take that spot on the side. Who knows? Look, at the end of the day, £200 million is a hell of a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. And the one thing I will say is whenever Liverpool have made big sales, they've reinvested it. Whether it's been good reinvestments or bad reinvestments is a different kettle of fish. But we've always reinvested. So I would have confidence in saying that the majority of that 200 million will be spent on improving the squad. The end of the road has come, Tom. This is the overreaction. He's fine. This is what happens. Chill. Agreed on taking that 200 mil. Big up Ryan. 200 is a lot for sure, but we will get 100 mil next summer anyway, and losing out on the Champions League footy this season takes us back 100 million anyway, so say no till next summer for me. I mean, say it quietly because I know that like the fucking Hassan will try and cook me for this. If we were to sell Salah now and get a replacement in January, we could still easily make top 4 or top 5. What it is now, we can still easily make top 5. I think there's a lot of teams that are a bit shit this season. Big ups, Nicholas. We aren't winning today. That team on paper is crap. Oh, here we go. Negative Nancy Ryan again. Sign Hazard on a 1-year deal and buy a replacement in January. I'm not signing Eden Hazard. Big ups, my guy Victor Ajomo, and I think this could be Salah's last game for us today. I disagree. I don't think we're going to sell him at this point. I don't think we're going to sell him. But score predictions. Ooh. It's a tough one because they're playing a very defensive lineup. I think it's gonna be 3-2 Liverpool. 3-2 Liverpool. I think Villa will get a couple of good chances. I think they'll score a couple. But I think Núñez will be cooking against the high line defence, if it is a high line. And I think Salah against Luka Dean is always a recipe for success. And I think it's a big game for Curtis today. I really do. 150 million UCL finalist kind of money, but I've missed Mo for sure. But I think he wants a few more records. Look, if Salah wants to stay, Salah can stay. I've got no issue. I've got no issue if Salah stays or if he goes for a world record fee. Who would you get in Jan if we did sell Salah now, Tom? You go and test the waters with 80 mil for Diaby. You do that. You double Villa's money after 6 months and see if they accept it or not. Because I think you'd be shocked. I think they might do. 10-0 Liverpool. I'd love that. 3-1 to the Mighty Reds. 2-1 to Villa. 4-1 Liverpool. Núñez hat-trick to shut up the negative Nancy's. One of the options for me, if a world record fee for Salah is to sell him and play Darwin sometimes, Doga's right wing, then buy someone in Giant Núñez performs, leave him as right wing and play Gakpo. Me personally, I'd go get Elise and wait for Diaby in the summer since Diaby can play across the front 3. I'd get Bakayoko ahead of Elise. I think Elise is more of a creator. Mind you, Salah's doing that Salah thing. Maybe I don't know if Elise would be happy in a rotation role because who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's something the club consider. I like Michael Elise, though. This isn't me saying I don't like Michael Elise. 15-0, 23-0. I hope Núñez goes Super Saiyan. I need a clean sheet for Alisson. I feel so bad for him. 100%. 153-0. I bet 3-2 my friends as well. 3-2 would be a good game. Surprises that Newcastle lost 3 in a row. I know I've seen that coming. They got the hardest UCL draw. I saw it coming. This is a Newcastle side that have lost their identity. They've not lost it. They can't play with their old identity. They used to be a side that sat back, absorbed pressure, hit teams on the counter. You can't hit teams on the counter if they're not opening themselves up for it. And I think Newcastle are struggling to adapt with that. If we sell Núñez, we could go 4-4-2 diamond, Gakpo, Jota, Núñez. There's options. There's options. You've got 4 top-class attackers if Salah still goes. It's not like we all of a sudden collapse. If Salah goes, you've still got 4 top attackers with Doak to play there, with Elliott to play there. That's the sort of thing you got to consider. Elise is what I think Klopp wants as a right winger, where they're more creative, which would help likes of Núñez and Jota more. Diaby's creative as well. Let's not act like Moussa Diaby isn't creative. Moussa Diaby's the perfect player. He's got that goal scoring edge. He's a creator. He's rapid. If you were to go for the most Salah replacements, it is Moussa Diaby. Matter of fact. But Newcastle played really tough opponents, though. They played 10-man Liverpool for 60 minutes and they lost. They played Brighton yesterday and were battered. They didn't even lay a glove on Man City. It's not that they lost to tough opponents, it's that they didn't even have a good account of themselves. That's the issue. But I'm going to call it there, people. Short preview, but I'm going to call it there. 3-2 Reds. Who's going to score? I didn't see who's going to score. Núñez, Gakpo, Jota with Salah to assist and a Sabo assist. That's it, people. I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. In a bit, everyone. In a bit. And make sure to like and subscribe if you're not already. I'm still getting there on that front. But love yous, leave yous. In a bit.